There was a young man named Raghav who lived in a small village surrounded by beautiful mountains. He was a hardworking individual, always striving to achieve success in his life. However, Raghav had one major flaw. He constantly compared himself to others. Whenever he saw his friend Karan, who was always the top student in school, Raghav would think, "I wish I were as smart as him." When he saw his neighbor Sidar, who was wealthy and successful, he thought, "I wish I had as much money as him." Even in simple things like running or playing sports, Raghav would compare himself to others and feel inadequate. This constant comparison made him feel unhappy and unfulfilled. No matter how much he achieved, it never seemed enough because someone else always seemed to be doing better. It wasn't just about material success, it was also about personal achievements. He began to feel like his journey was pointless, like he would never reach the same heights as those around him. He was constantly looking at others, thinking, "Why can't I be like them?" This mindset started to eat away at his self-esteem. He began to lose his confidence and, despite his hard work, felt stuck in life. One day, a famous saint passed through the village. The saint was known for his wisdom and had helped many people find clarity in their lives. Raghav, feeling lost and unsure of his path, decided to visit him and ask for advice. He went to the saint and said, "Gurudev, I work so hard, but I always feel like I'm not enough. I compare myself to others and it makes me feel worthless. I wish I could find my own path in life, but I don't know how to stop comparing myself to those who seem better than me." The saint listened attentively and smiled kindly. "Raghav, you are not alone in this struggle. Many people face the challenge of comparing themselves to others. But remember, your journey is unique. It is not about being better than someone else. It is about discovering your true self and your own path. Let me tell you a story that might help you understand." The saint began the story. In a forest, there were many different trees. Some trees were tall and strong, while others were shorter and more delicate. Among these trees was a mango tree, which was proud of its sweet fruits, and a coconut tree, which was proud of its height. One day, the mango tree looked at the coconut tree and said, "I wish I could be as tall as you, so that I could be seen from far away." The coconut tree, hearing this, replied, "And I wish I could bear sweet fruits like you, so that I could be useful to the villagers." The saint paused and continued, "Do you see what happened here, Raghav? Both trees were comparing themselves to each other. The mango tree wished for something it could never have, just as the coconut tree longed for something it could not do. And yet, both trees were valuable in their own ways. The mango tree gave delicious fruit, while the coconut tree provided strong wood and coconuts for many uses. Neither tree was inferior to the other, they simply had different purposes." Raghav was deep in thought as the saint's words sank in. He had never considered that comparing himself to others was not only unfair to himself, but also unproductive. He realized that by focusing on what others had or could do, he was ignoring his own unique strengths. "I have been comparing myself to others all my life," Raghav said, "but I now see that I have my own purpose, just like the trees in your story. I shouldn't be trying to be like others. I should focus on my own journey and embrace what makes me unique." The saint nodded and smiled. "Exactly, Raghav. You are not here to live someone else's life. Your path is yours alone. By comparing yourself to others, you deny yourself the chance to fully appreciate your own qualities and potential. When you stop comparing, you allow yourself to grow into the person you are meant to be." Raghav felt a deep shift in his mindset. He understood that the key to finding fulfillment was to stop comparing himself to others and start embracing his own journey. From that moment on, Raghav made a commitment to stop comparing himself to others. He began to focus on his own strengths, talents, and passions. Instead of looking at his friends' successes, he started setting his own personal goals and worked tirelessly toward achieving them. He no longer felt inferior to others, and instead of feeling envious, he started to feel proud of his progress. Raghav began to appreciate the small victories in his life. He recognized that each step he took toward his goals was an accomplishment, and he celebrated those moments. His mindset shifted from one of lack to one of abundance. He started to see that his unique qualities and strengths were just as valuable as anyone else's. Slowly but surely, Raghav began to experience the success he had always desired. It wasn't about being better than others. It was about becoming the best version of himself. He realized that comparing himself to others had only held him back. Once he stopped doing that, he was free to pursue his own dreams, and that made all the difference. Years later, Raghav became a successful entrepreneur and a respected member of his community. He often shared his story with others, encouraging them to stop comparing themselves to others and to find their own unique path in life. The key to true happiness and success, Raghav would say, is not in being better than someone else. It's about being the best version of yourself. Stop comparing. Start embracing your journey. He leaned in, looking at his audience, and asked, "So, what about you? Are you ready to stop comparing yourself to others? Are you ready to discover your true path and start living the life you are meant to live?"